Andrew and Anthony Johnson used to be spotted by neighbors gardening whilst wearing surgical masks. The 63-year-old twins were found by police in 2014. Both men were found reclining in armchairs. Authorities believe they had been there since 2011. The mummified body of a Chicano author, activist, and teacher were discovered inside her memento-filled apartment on Zia Road in Santa Fe, New Mexico home in May 2013. Authorities and family members believe that the body of the 70-year-old woman named Barbara Salinas Norman may have been inside the home for more than 1 year. A preliminary autopsy report suggested Salinas died of natural causes. Her neighbors and relatives didn't notice for over a year until her body was found by her brother-in-law Louis Ponce. Louis Ponce and his wife Edna decided to drive from their home in California to see Salinas, the woman who wrote bilingual books and was part of the Chicano movement's civil rights advocacy after 2 years of unreturned phone calls and letters. Louis Ponce came around determined to see her no matter the cost, as it had been such a long time since he had last heard from her. Immediately he stepped inside the home of the activist. It was filled with an odor that Ponce defined as awful. He found her mummified body close to a poster that parodied Rosie the Riveter, depicting Rosie as a skeleton, with a red cloth on her head and her arm raised in a fist under the caption, "See, Samuel. Yes, we die." There were scattered pieces of rubbish everywhere, which Ponce revealed he didn't know anybody would be that dirty. A Milwaukee real estate agent entered into a foreclosed house after it was retaken to behold a shockingly indelible sight in 2012. The body of the owner, David Carter, was seen on the stairs in an almost skeletonized condition after remaining unseen for about 4 years. The deceased resigned from his work as a nuisance control officer for the city of Milwaukee in 2007, revealing to co-workers that he was relocating to New Mexico. Rather, it seems he went home to kill himself, as he had a bullet wound through his head and a handgun on his chest on the day he was supposed to become 45. The decayed remains of Geneva Chambers were discovered in her Florida home by a landscaper in August 2013. Local police suggested that there was no suspicious circumstance connected to her death. The woman is believed to have passed away for about 3 years. Based on court documents, foreclosure notices were issued in 2009 and all utilities were turned off by June 2010. People who lived next to her thought she had dumped the property. But they had taken care of Chambers' lawn in recent years, completely uninformed about her death. Investigators learned that Chambers preferred privacy when she was alive, telling neighbors to stay away from her property and turning away unknowingly a woman who offered her cookies. Born in 1924, Hedvige Gulick's body was found on May 12, 2008, when police broke into the apartment along with 2 neighbors. The woman had seemingly prepared herself a cup of tea before sitting in her most preferred armchair in front of her black and white TV. Croatian police disclosed that she was last seen by neighbors in 1966, when she would have been 42 years old. Her neighbors thought she had moved out of her flat in Zagreb or have traveled abroad, as she had earlier mentioned. A source revealed inexplicably that neighbors had been paying the missing woman's utilities and rent for decades, and has told police to investigate the apartment, which the department had refused until its discovery. However, after about 42 years of her death, police and bailiffs discovered her when they broke in to help the authorities find out who owned the flat. According to the officers who entered her apartment, the place was like going into a place frozen in time. The normal functioning of everything was not disrupted for decades, but there were more than a few cobwebs in there. Officials from a North London housing association who were retaking possession of a bedsit in Wood Green on January 25, 2006 for rent arrears made a really depressing discovery. They found a skeleton lying on the sofa, which reportedly was the skeleton of a 38-year-old woman named Joyce Vincent, who had died for nearly 3 years without anyone noticing it. Her TV set was still on tune to BBC One, and a tiny heap of unopened Christmas presents lay on the floor. Her kitchen sink was filled with dirty dishes and a mountain of post lay at the back of the front door. It was almost impossible to determine the cause of the death, as the body has already decomposed, but police thinks that Vincent's death was caused by natural causes. The remains of a man, donning pajamas, is believed to have been dead for over 15 years in an abandoned house. The skeleton was discovered in city of Lille, and French police are trying to identify the body, which is believed to be that of the elderly owner of the property who lived alone and seemed to have no family. Investigators found heaps of unread posts in the house dating back to 1996. Based on French reports, he was of Spanish origin and was born in 1921. Natalie Jean Wood Surrey Hills died in her home in 2003, but was undiscovered until 2011. She died at the age of 86, months after being diagnosed with a brain tumor, and lay unfound on the floor of her bedroom until her body was discovered when police searched her old home in 2011. The last family member to see Ems Wood alive was Ems Davis, her sister-in-law, in 2003 when she came to their home in January 2003 to inform her family of the diagnosis. Their usual contact decreased and Ems Davis became too busy to go check on Ems Wood since she was caring for her terminally sick husband, Ems Wood's brother, who was wheelchair-bound. In 2007 and 2008, Ems Davis said she tried to reach Ems Wood through inquiries to Centrelink and the police and tried to return to Ems Wood property after Mr. Davis succumbed to his illness and died in 2009, but all to no avail. The body of Michigan IT worker Pia Fahrenkopf of Pontiac, 44, was found mummified in the back of her car when her home was seized over unpaid bills. Investigators believe she died in 2009 at the age of 44 as she had last withdrawn $1,500 from her checking account in February 25, 2009. Relatives and pals who know her as bright, fun but unsociable didn't see or hear from her, but they ascribed it to Fahrenkopf's solitary tendencies. Her body was dry when she was found in 2014, making it almost impossible to determine the cause of her death through autopsy. Unread letters heaped up in her mailbox in the middle-class neighborhood where she lived in Pontiac, Michigan, before being taken back to the post office as unclaimed. A family member even tried to talk to her through phone in 2012 to tell Fahrenkopf her mother had died, but never got a response. Mortgage payments kept making deductions automatically from bank accounts overflowing with cash from Fahrenkopf's job at Altel Information Services, where she had once programmed banking software. It was not until they exhausted the money in 2013 and the bank foreclosed that Fahrenkopf was finally found by two repairmen, hired to patch a hole in the roof in 2014. She was found slumped in the backseat of the Jeep Liberty parked in her garage, mummified with many unopened letters around her and several empty packs of cigarettes as well as $500 cash in her pockets and a partially drank bottle of wine by her side. The skeleton of this introvert named Simon Allen was found in the lounge of his city center Brighton flat after 2 years of his death without anybody noticing he had died. His body, which was wearing only a pair of socks, was found lying behind an armchair in the living room of his flat in Brighton, East Sus, when deep cleaners went to his home in November 2012. Police believe his death could have been caused by no suspicious circumstances, even though it was not possible to confirm the cause of death. The body of a dead German man was discovered alone in bed in 2007, almost 7 years after the man is believed to have died. Local police said that the man was 59 years old when he passed away, suggesting he died sometime close the turn of the century. The man's date of death was projected to be November 30, 2000. He is thought to be single and unemployed at the time of his death. Police believe that he died of natural causes.